You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
welcome to the show. My name's Dave, and this is a Fistful of Podcasts from FFOPradio.com. Back for another great week. Let me introduce you to my co-host this episode. He's been on many a pilot, full disclosure. You've been on a lot of stuff that hasn't made it to air yet, Jeff. And it's because we were simply tweaking stuff, so don't take offense. That's why you're here now. It's my buddy Jeff Moore on the show. Hey, Jeff.
What's up?
Chris is over there on the couch, obviously.
I am.
You may hear some sound drops.
The computer's not on.
Oh. Hold on. Well, it's on. It just goes into like a sleepy mode. Then I got to hit it with my toe, and it does
gotta wake it up from the nap.
Wake it from the dead. I have to read from the Necronomicon, and it will come to life.
The Necronomicon.
And then the sound drops will play like the spells of the great old ones. So, Jeff, what is up, man? Let's get into it. And by it, I mean I don't know. What's up? What's new with you? Should we unpack who we are, our relationship for the listener?
I mean, we can. I'm down with that.
All right, we met 40 years ago.
Back in my day.
It was 1967, the summer of 67. No, what? I don't know how long ago. Whatever.
2015, I think,
like
is when I got transferred.
That was 6 years? Okay. Whatever. We used to work at an urgent care in the billing. I was the head of Nevada. He was part of Arizona.
Yep.
But that did not keep us apart. Our separate tribes, we were like the Romeo and Romeo of...
Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Here I am, Romeo.
And I was like, hey, yo, he's over there in Arizona. It was crazy. Then you went on to be a carpenter. Yep. I stayed in the urgent care billing biz.
Indeed.
It's pretty low impact. That's why I stayed with it. But you wanted action. You wanted adventure.
Yeah, dude. I kind of realized that I just didn't like desk jobs.
Right.
Like...
I've had both, and now that you've had both, I'm sure you can see this too. They both have their place. When I was an electrician, I longed for a desk job. God, did I love the idea of rolling in at 9, punching out at 5, and having air conditioning the whole 8 hours, right? Oh my God, what a dream.
I know, right?
And now that I've had that for umpteen years, I'm kind of getting antsy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can definitely... understand that.
I'm feeling the pull of like a bus driver for some reason.
This has come up a lot lately.
Come up a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Or truck driver, something. I like driving, so I'm kind of thinking I should lean into that.
I mean, honestly, it's not a bad job.
Right. I
don't want to say trade, but
right now my excuse for literally everything and everybody, and it's kind of valid, so I'm giving myself that pass, is we're going to be moving soon. So I'm putting off everything big until after that, because starting something big and then having to pull out and then untangle like Christmas lights essentially as the task in a different spot, and then going back, I feel like my motivation might be shattered. I'm only human.
No, I completely agree, because that sucks. Like, with everything going on, a move, work, you got a kid, the show, trying to add on top of that driver's school or to get your CDL.
That's what I'm saying. I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it a dream, but not an anxiety. You know what I mean? I know I can do it one day. Maybe that's my point. So now that where have we gone? So we went from, let's just do a little bit of your chronology. Okay. So we went from urgent care, billing, and etc. to carpentry.
Yeah, I started doing kitchen installations and remodels.
Okay.
Got pretty big in that and was loving it. And then the company that I was with decided that their business model worked too well and they had to downsize. Because they worked themselves out of business, basically.
Is that possible?
Like, so our goal at the time was, I think, 4 kitchens a week per crew, and there was
Oh, so what? It was just like
6 crews.
okay. So he just probably
Hired too
many people in an excess and had
Yeah.
to trim the fat. Okay, yeah, I've been there. Like one of my last jobs, I was literally, I should have seen it coming, but I was so stupid. Literally the last dude on the job. It was just me and my tools and the boss. And one day he just jumped into the office like, here's your last check. And I'm like, what? How did I not see that coming? Cash. Yeah, so I've been there is what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a crazy experience to work yourself out of a job.
Yep. It sucks.
But you're rolled with it. You're here, you know?
Yeah, I was actually only unemployed for like 2 days after that happened because I had been looking, dabbling, like, oh, what other companies are
Rolling
out
the
there.
dice.
Before that, but I really liked the company I was with, so I just wasn't taking the initiative of pulling the trigger or anything.
So going back to carpentry, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that was like right before I got fired. I was looking around at different jobs, like, oh man, I wonder if I could do electrical or plumbing or something. And I never pulled the trigger on jumping into any of that stuff because I was like, well, I really like this job and they pay me really well.
Yeah. So what do you think was it that was pulling you in a different direction?
Management of the company.
Okay. So you got see the writing on the wall essentially, or what?
Yeah, like we had in the 2 years that I worked there, we had like 4 different managers just in the mountain.
That's always
region.
a red flag. I don't get it.
Like, what the fuck?
I worked at places that had crazy turnover, and no one stopped to ask why.
Well, they weren't. It wasn't that these people were quitting or getting fired or anything like that. It was more of that we would have this manager, and then 2 months later, the manager would be moved to a different region to manage.
Right.
And so it's like, what the fuck? Dude?
So there's no stability. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It doesn't matter if they're getting fired or getting moved.
Yeah.
You're not. You know, you say, "Oh, this guy would be more valuable over here," but then you basically fuck over the crew you're with.
Yep, pretty much. And so I was like, dude, this sucks. But they were, like I said, they were paying me really well, and they were working with me as far as my school schedule goes because I was going to school at the time as well. Anyways, so got fired, and I'd been looking around, and my former father-in-law now knew that I had been talking about being an electrician, and so
So this is what unlocked that.
Yeah, so he talked to someone who had a job as an electrician, and they.
He wasn't even the initial link in the chain.
No, he was just like, "Hey."
Oh wow.
One of his friends was an electrician. He's like, "Hey, is the company that you're working for hiring?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." Here's the information. So
That's
I
crazy.
called, and yeah, it was super crazy because everyone thought I was friends with this guy. I'd never even met him.
Right. Like the way I got into being an electrician is eerily similar
Wild.
because I had a friend whose cousin owned his own electrical repair company.
Oh, nice.
And he's like, why don't you try that for a while? And I'm like, okay, fine. So that's how I became an electrician. It was just me and him on every job. And he taught me the electrical code every damn day.
That's awesome.
He was so, like a constant teacher.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't help but learn because he would just recite the code as if I weren't even there. Like he was a minor bird.
That's crazy.
And so, when I went to the next job, it was actually like, people would call professional, if you will.
Yeah.
Where it was just me and one other dude. I was running circles around dudes because they were there because they had a set of tools.
Yep.
They didn't have a set of skills.
Yep. They were there to learn, basically, or hopefully learn.
Yeah. And they were all these various transitions of like in the the trade school for it too.
Yep.
It's such a weird ecosystem.
Yes.
Because you can start at any time. By start, I mean be on a job site and be dangerous to somebody or something and
Yeah.
then go to school retroactively. They'll take your ass now, but they'll hope you go to school to learn how to do what you're doing.
Yes.
It's
Essentially, it's
crazy.
the company that I'm with currently is the same one that hired me initially. And it's basically because they're teaching me. And
Yeah.
I told them, like, hey, let me graduate. I don't want to be a teacher. I want to do, like, skilled labor because it's it's intriguing to me. And so they said,
problem
okay.
solving. It's constant problem solving.
Yeah. They said, okay. And then when you're done with that, we'll pay for you to go to school. I was like, okay.
It's nuts. And maybe you do this too. I'd like to see if you do. But like when I was in the trades, I would gravitate to the older dudes who just knew how to do what they were doing so well. They didn't even stop to complain about it.
Yeah.
Like everybody else who put the bitching in, and like, but they would be like the dude who was my first boss who just like recites the code, but 9 times out of 10 has a weird and sketchy past.
Yeah. Yeah. So I loved working with this one foreman. It's a great dude. But I shot myself in the foot.
How? Did somebody tell you to get the adjustable flex bender or something?
No.
that
I
to a
shot
guy.
myself in the foot with him because we got into a really heated discussion, and I just said something that he wasn't a fan of.
Right.
So he's just like, don't ever let that kid on my job site again.
Yeah. Well, it's
So I was
all,
like, all right, whatever. That sucks.
it's a matter of it's the price we pay for being ourselves versus letting go.
Absolutely, yeah. So I was like, man, that sucks. Like,
But if the
wish I
price
could.
was worth it to you, then it's not invalid. You know what I mean? Like everybody can say, "Oh, well, I blew it."
I don't know. I guess I'm still learning on whether or not the price was worth it.
Well, I mean,
But-
whether it was or not, here you are.
Yep.
This is the only moment that matters.
Yeah, and I've been working with a different foreman lately who's been doing exactly what you said, just reciting the code. Like,
Those dudes are interesting, right?
it's just been me and him
It's
on
so-
these small jobs. Like, we're remodeling a school,
Uh-huh.
and we're doing a remodel in an office building just on.
And they come in
Gilbert
every
Road.
flavor. I had a dude who was like maybe 1 or 2 years older than me, who was one of those code sages, who was like as like a slack off and everything else like everybody else was, but he was so dedicated to his craft. Like when he finally did something, it was like the best.
Phenomenal, yeah.
And when he was telling you to do something, he expected that out of you.
Yeah. This guy, he's got like, I don't want to say a colored past, but he's got like a pretty rough story.
Yeah,
For sure. And
everybody
like,
does. I don't think
learning
it's
from
exclusive to
him-
the trades.
No, I don't think so either. But learning from him and being able to talk to him, it's very interesting because he's a no nonsense guy, and
A lot of people in the trades are
it's
because
been really good.
it's the one thing that will never change is the bare bones human nature of a job site.
Yeah,
It's mostly dudes. Like there's no way around it. Like you can try to be as PC as you want, but here's what it's going to be. It's going to be a bunch of sweaty, angry dudes who have a checkered past coming together to build America because no one will let them do anything else because, anyone can come in and help build a building.
yep, yeah. It's either that or it's a dude that just like that knows for a fact that going and doing a desk job or something else is gonna lead
Right.
to fucking misery for that person.
It's going to be the same smear of life
Yeah.
in any job. Like everybody I work with has the same stories as everybody I work with in every job.
Pretty much, yeah.
But in the trades, everybody they call them the salt of the earth, and it makes sense because everybody is so just honest and genuine and open about their past and themselves, but they still keep falling into the same traps,
Yeah.
which is weird to me. That's why I finally had to leave the trades, because it was getting to be that constant cycle of all these people I was working with year after year after year doing the same
Yep.
things and not changing themselves.
Yeah, and then when you finally run into the people that are from checkered pasts, but they're doing everything they can to change themselves, it's mind blowing because you're like, holy shit, you're actually.
Oh yeah,
like-
so many prison stories on the job, right?
yeah. Well, one of the guys I've run into working in the trades, he was He's an ex-con, but he's like running job sites now and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. But what's even crazier is, this is one thing that me and the foreman that I've been working with recently have been talking about, is just how lazy you get, like how many lazy people you get, I guess is what I should say. Like
on a job site.
yeah. It's insane. Like you're already doing
The-
labor work. Like
right.
you're
The bigger the job, though, the more places for lazy people to hide.
yeah. So that's one of the biggest things that we've been talking about, is just like we have a super that we're working with. We call him Ed for special ed,
Okay.
because and that's probably not PC or anything, but whatever. The dude's a moron. Like, he told us that he was an electrician, and we're like, oh yeah, you were an electrician? He's like, yeah, we didn't use any of that hot stick crap or those wiggies.
You just lick your fingers.
You lick
That's
your
what he
fingers
says?
and hot
Yeah.
test with your fingers. And I was like, you're a
No.
fucking moron.
People who
did
say that are not electricians, obviously, because you would never do that. It would cause you so much repeated damage that, like, or maybe, like, because there's no way he was so old that he was putting things together in the 20s and actually doing that.
No way. The dude's
Yeah.
like maybe 64.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So
but the one thing about job sites too is like the camaraderie, right?
yeah,
And that's
Doesn't
one of the
matter
things
where
that'll
or what
it'll
you-
teach you about humans is like your past doesn't matter because everybody on the job is an ex-con or a drug addict, past, present, future, tense, whatever.
Something.
Everybody is in that constant revolution of in and out of prison and or drugs and or alcohol abuse and or whatever human problems we all have.
pretty much.
I'm one of the guys.
But I never felt safer than on a job site.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Because, like, it's, everybody there is genuine. They got your back.
Yep.
I don't know what it is about just, like, building something together. Makes everybody just sort of click into each other.
Yeah, the only time I've actually felt like there was something up on a job site where I was like, dude, I can't leave any of my shit around. I don't trust.
Yeah,
these
there are
guys.
if it's
Like,
big, you can't help
There's
it.
those big ones, but the only time that I've actually really genuinely felt that way has been the last couple weeks working at this demo project that we're on, where they're watching the demo guys to make sure that they don't destroy any of the electrical that we need to save for future stuff.
Yeah.
And these dudes are just careless as all get out.
Right, but they're demo guys. Like,
And so like and they are so willing to throw each other under the bus. Like
that's another thing. There's no honor among thieves. That's part of it.
So
though.
that, and I'm
like
dude,
children,
I
these
feel
guys.
like-
They act around each other. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I've seen so many huge dudes pitch so many hissy fits. It's hilarious. Like now seeing my child do it, it's even funnier seeing like in my memory.
a 37-year-old man.
Yeah, a full blown man with a giant gut. Like one guy. I'll tell you a quick story. One guy powdered himself out of a job, and he had fucking. Oh my god! So this guy, his name was Dale. Mm-hmm. He loved to drink. All he did was talk about beer, and he had like 6 or 7 teeth, right, scattered around his
Yum.
mouth. And he had no skill. He got hired on as like a laborer and sort of worked his way into the company, and then whatever he greased the wheels somehow or sort of slid it under the radar.
Great.
Then we were on this job site, and we end up needing someone to run to the Connex all the time to resupply parts and stuff. So he was like, all right, I'll like became the put upon every like guy. And he became the parts runner.
Oh yeah.
And he didn't take a pay decrease, obviously, because everybody just sort of wanted him out of their hair.
Yeah.
And so then he became that personality where he was running around with a little clipboard, and like he fully invested. But then he invested too much where he's like, fine, you don't want to be the park guy. Oh, we don't be a fuck parts guy anymore. And he would start to pitch fits, trying to throw a little power trip because he thought he was needed. He created a luxury that now he thought we needed. And finally the boss is like, you know what? We don't. You don't own that truck. The company does. You're fired. And he fired his ass.
Good.
He
Dude.
pitched a fit right out of his, into his own tombstone.
Good.
It was, but it's crazy to see stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
to just like it was like a beautiful butterfly metamorphism of nature. Because he started out as the caterpillar, and he didn't like where he was, so he cocooned himself into the truck and became this beautiful parts butterfly. And then he ran out in front of a toad, and boom, dead.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So that's basically who this super that we're working under is. He's the guy for this company.
They always exist.
That they don't want to deal with, so they just send him on the jobs that they don't care how long it takes. They don't give a shit. They're just like, everybody
you
go do that. And this dude legit just goes and sleeps in his truck.
Oh yeah, I worked with the dude.
Like,
here's
are
a
you
great
fucking
story.
Kidding me?
We were working at the ASU stadium, the basketball stadium, right?
Oh, okay.
We were doing their huge HVAC system, obviously, because it is a basketball stadium, multi-tier level, huge. So we're these giant air handlers and running cable everywhere and pipe and yada yada yada. 3 of us, me, Ted, and Ron, and just 2 good old boys, and me. And just think of it like this. You know how in cartoons you'll see like a trio of people or things, animals, and for comedic effect, one is hilariously small.
Yeah.
That was me. One dude was 6'2", the other one was 6'4". Here's me at just regular 6 foot, not tiny, but now the runt of the litter, and at 130 pounds, and these guys are 220 and 280. So I get to be the hilarious little side character, when in any other context, I would be the one in command.
Basically, yeah.
But it was a fun dynamic, because the reason I'm telling that story is that's where my camaraderie was, because our boss would literally kick his boots off, throw his Redbox DVDs onto a chair in one of the offices, close the door, and fall asleep for at least 6 hours, and literally come check on us still rubbing his eyes. So negligent and hilariously inept was this man. Like a comic book character of the worst parody. And he thought we were best friends. That was the most hilarious part, because he thought he was going to be the next, famous guy, Jay-Z. He wanted to be the next Jay-Z. And then he was going to, because he had rappers under him, that he had this studio, blah, blah, blah. And I talked to somebody who had been in his studio, and it was a small hallway closet that he had put a blanket in and a microphone. And this was also the time when D12 was out, if you remember that. He was like, I got my own D12. I'm like, sure. I love the delusional dream, though. You can get them all the time in the trades, because they say, I'm just here until blank takes off.
Yeah.
And he was one of those dudes. And it was awesome, because he was like, I was like, oh man, I don't want to say his name because I didn't want to give him that much praise. But we were working in the airport, Sky Harbor Airport. I'll at least drop them because I enjoy that airport. Yeah. Sky Harbor Airport, working there. So finally we're like, man, put your money where your mouth is. Do some rapping. He's like, do some freestyling. And he's like, man, I'm so good at rapping. I'm so good at freestyling. But we never made him put his money where his mouth is because we knew he couldn't and we didn't care. So finally, with this old dude who worked for the airport and some liaisons who had a key and a security card that would let us meager, lowly underlings in and out of doors, he was standing there. He was this old guy who was a no-nonsense, no bullshit, angry dude, right?
Yes, dude.
Tight haircut, old, white hair, white mustache. Like, he came after me with a pair of needle-nose pliers to get at my cartilage ring, and I had to slap him away. And so it's us and him watching as my boss, I say, okay, fine, rap for us, man. Rap a little freestyle. So he ended up looking around where we were, seeing a broom, and then like essentially what it sounded like saying broom 8 times in a row. And
like a bitch.
And then finally like saying sweep. And then by then I'd lost him to the sound of us laughing. Even the old man, who was a stone statue of a gargoyle, could not help but crack his iron visage.
That's amazing.
It was awesome.
That is amazing, dude.
When you call people out, you say, okay, fine, put your money where your mouth is. Sometimes you'll be surprised and they'll do it. And you go, all right, boom, I'll eat crow. But every time it doesn't do that, I shouldn't say it's good because it's not. You're making someone, the butt of a joke, and it's not a good thing to do. It's not very zen.
But
if you know you're never
really funny.
Yeah, here's
So-
I justify it in saying, if they're never going to gain an awakening or anything, if they're never going to get any higher mentally or anything above where they are right now, I have no problem messing with them. It's like poking the aquarium. Sure, they tell you not to, but the kids are going to fucking do it.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't help my human nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you into recently then, Jeff? We've sort of covered what's up with all that. What are you into recently? What's filling your free time? You finished my cane. I love it.
Fucking.
So we can talk about the woodworking that you do. This is going to be part of the background now for Flamingo Friday all the time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I do some woodworking here and there, but the price of wood has increased like 600%.
Am I right? We went in to that little store, Timberland.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy expensive. Even the stuff that should be cheap was expensive.
Yeah, dude, a sheet of 1/8-inch plywood, birch plywood, which is normally like maybe $12 for a 4x4 sheet or a 3x4 sheet, is like $50 now.
What? I was going to say like 24. That's
no,
insane.
it's super expensive now. Like plywood, 3/4-inch plywood is like $100 and something now, dude.
Yeah, there's some people like my boss's. She's got some friends who are in the middle of building houses, and the contractors or whoever they were buying it from were like, "Hey, just so you know, your house is going to cost a lot more money because the price of lumber has skyrocketed. So be aware."
Yeah, like if you're gonna build a home now, if you were gonna build a $300,000 home,
You need
like 5 years ago,
$700,000.
5 years ago, it's like now $350,000.
Yeah.
Just for wood.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But I haven't been doing any woodworking recently. I am building a motorcycle as well.
Oh yeah,
That's
but
cool.
that's like a long.
That's a long process
Yeah.
because I also have 2 jobs.
Right.
So I work at Home Depot and I'm an electrician. So all of my time is taken up with work.
So which is the bigger slice of the pie? Like, are you a full-time electrician and part-time Home Depot?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
like a
full-time.
weekend thing?
Nights and weekends. So like I work as an electrician. We'll start our day at like 4
Yeah, I remember those days.
and get off at noon, and then at like 2:00 I'm scheduled until 9:00. So then I work almost an 8-hour shift.
That is insane, man.
Yeah, dude.
I've worked with people who've done that, and more power to you. But holy shit,
Dude, it is not easy. Like it is so exhausting, and
But here's the thing: you get to that point, right? Like somewhere in your first 8-hour shift and before the second 8-hour shift, you must realize the day ahead of you, right? And disconnect mentally.
pretty much.
And
yeah.
just be like, whatever, here we go, living in the moment, right?
Yeah, like I spend a lot of my time at Home Depot just walking around. Like, oh, gotta go and help this customer. And then like I help them super fast. And then I just like stand there and I look around and I'm like,
Right.
is anyone else seeing this shit?
That's all. And that's the thing. You're trying to literally. So obviously you're probably getting 3 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, just about.
So, when do you think that is going to let up?
I don't know, honestly. Like,
Because we all have these, the desire for more money, or say we won't have enough, or blah blah blah. But no matter where you are, you always make ends meet, right? Like, let's say you take a couple of sick days, or you shit yourself for 3 days,
Yeah.
inside out, and you
Yeah.
have to eat that. Like, die, right?
yeah.
Like, you keep going regardless. Like, if I were to, I wouldn't do this, obviously, but I could. If I were to stop going to work for 4 days, Krista would never know the difference, because I could make do on basically nothing. I would not die, and I could still keep up the lie. If I went any more than that, I would have to be like, oh, here's what I did. I literally went nowhere near work for a week plus.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. Like I don't know. I am trying to create a savings. Like I want to build a cushion and I want to pay off my debts as well.
Okay. Well, so what is the cushion? What is the end goal of the cushion? Like just in case you're planning for a failure, right?
Yeah, kind of like I have a 20-plus-year-old van. And so like I'm trying to build up a cushion where I have something that if that van breaks down, I can either replace my vehicle or repair my vehicle.
Okay, so that makes sense. You have something you're going toward. So it's not just like that's the thing. A lot of people will just throw money into the future, and be like, "Well, so what?" Here's my whole point is, like, what are you missing out now by burning literally your every waking hour at somebody else's benefit?
Yeah, I'm missing out on quite a bit, but I also have started to realize like the importance of me time.
Oh yeah, I guarantee since you've been like having to be alone in your head, like when you are at work, you're sort of checked out, and it's sort of walking meditation.
Yeah.
You can't escape your thoughts.
At least at Home Depot, for sure. It's just a lot of.
I used to work at Home Depot, so yeah, it's a lot of self-reflection at the cash register, up the aisles, or whatever.
Yeah, at electrical, like I have a pretty good time. Talk to the foreman that I work with basically all day.
It's a sort of freeing experience if you can just see it for what it is, right? And
and like. I'm just trying to, like I said, build a savings, pay off some debts, and hopefully get to a point where I can be comfortable.
Right, but here's what I'm concerned about though, because when your whole strategy is pointed toward the future, and that's basically well, what's going on? You say, well, I'm working for the future. What are you missing out in service of the future? Because the future doesn't exist, right? You and me are sitting right here. Yeah. There is no future. So what are you missing right now because of obligations that you feel you need to take on? Look, don't get me wrong. Debt is one thing, and there's obviously we live in a human society that obviously is going to hold us accountable for certain things. Yeah. But beyond a certain speed, what can you do?
So a lot of the time, what I feel like I'm missing out on is the time that I could be spending with my kids.
Because that's the thing. Every second is gone.
Yeah. So I do think about that a lot as far as like time with my kids being spent at work. But as I said, I'm finding the importance of me time and like time to spend with people that I find are important in my life.
Well, they can be one and the same. You know what I mean? Because you can find... We can, for some reason, we justify to ourselves when there's green paper at the end of the rainbow. We say, well, at least my time wasn't in service of nothing.
Yeah.
You're always in service of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you say, I need to study for a brighter tomorrow, for a better me in the future, I understand you're trying to be like, well, I'm getting very mellow because of all the free time I'm getting at Home Depot. But when you look back on those days, you say, boy, oh boy, do I remember those days at Home Depot when I spaced out and don't remember shit.
No, I'm actually referring to just like how to cherish the time that I have off of both jobs. Like this weekend, I don't work. I'm off tonight and tomorrow night.
Right. So why squeeze yourself into that finite a time?
Short amount of time? I don't know, man. The other thing is
that's the thing I'm picking at.
Being able to work at Home Depot is providing benefits, so I can insure my kids, and that's something that I can't afford doing just the one job.
All right, so then why not put all your eggs into that one basket? Like say, hey, lean into the one that is the more valuable to you instead of burning the candle at both ends. Because that's the thing about a candle. Everybody looks past the fact that when you burn a candle, it disappears.
Yeah.
You know, say, oh, God, it's burning faster. How hilarious. Like, but it's going away. You are going away as a human, chasing two things and leaving everything else.
Yeah. I find more joy as an electrician. Home Depot is just a means to an end. And that's the mentality of it all, is just a means to an end. And it's not forever. Like, I don't plan on working there forever.
No, I would hope not. But because like nobody should work anywhere forever, I don't think. Like those people, but I take that back. There are people who need that stability. There are people who need to go in, realize there's a 9 to 5 for them. They want a visceral feel of the punch card. They want to know, yeah, I put in my 35 years. I got a gold watch. Boy, oh boy, was I a great specimen of the human race.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to keep myself sane.
But by doing what? Diverting, right? Because you're spending 8 hours avoiding the things that you're avoiding, and then you spend another 8 hours avoiding the things that you're avoiding, and in between, you're going home to hopefully get some sleep. Yeah. Where are you resolving anything? You say, oh, well, I'm getting a lot of things thought about. Whoa, obviously not, because you're bringing up the fact that you're not getting them resolved. I'm not checked out here, Jeff.
No, I understand.
So that's the thing. I think what you're thinking is like, well, this is helping me become Zen, when you're just using it as like, yeah, I'm bullshitting. I'm bullshitting myself.
Maybe sometimes I am.
Yeah, we all are.
I've actually found a lot of peace being able to work there because I do get trapped in my head.
Right. But here's the thing about, you have to also recognize this about yourself, Jeff. You're also very aggressive when it comes to things you are passionate about.
Oh, I know.
So that's the thing. You can't tell me, oh yeah, I'm working through things, but then where does all this fire come from for these righteous causes? You know what I mean? Because where is stuff? Let's say, here's my hypothetical for everybody. Do you believe anything crazy? I don't know if we've ever touched upon this. Do you believe in like ghosts or the boogeyman or aliens or Bigfoot or anything? Are you a flat earther by any chance? Is the moon made of cheese to you?
Did the dinosaurs live with cavemen?
Yeah, was the Earth 6,000 years old?
No, it's not.
Okay, so here's the thing.
No, I don't know. Do I believe anything crazy?
Right. So, well, then we'll just have to use something concrete. So, what is something that you are passionate about, like politically wise, or however minded you want to be? Like, I am strongly opposed or for blank. Give me something.
I like music, man.
That's not a thing. You're not for or against me. Give me a position you are for or against. You can say, hey man, I like music, brother. Give me a fucking thing that you say, I like this, and if you are or I am pro this. You know what I'm talking about. You put a bunch of aggressive posts. Quit dancing around the issue.
Yeah, I do. All right.
Be real.
Okay.
Because I just have a simple question. After I identify this in you, I just need a concrete example for you, myself, and our listeners.
All cops are bastards.
Okay, so that's your belief.
Yeah.
So now, take that belief, right? And now everybody believes it's true. You now, in your head, right now, drop every apprehension, everyone
thought. Has the same feeling.
Everybody feels the same way as you.
I'm contrarian, so I'm going to be like, what? Probably not, though.
Right. So what the fuck are you doing, right?
What am I doing?
Yeah. So where is your fire coming from when as soon as everybody agrees, you kick to the other side?
Dude, I don't know. I don't know where that fire is coming from.
It's got to come from somewhere, right? It's not something born of nothing, because nothing can come from nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like I find interest in a lot of different things, and when I feel
interest is one thing.
When I feel passionate about something, I'm gonna pursue it. Like the motorcycle. I have never ridden a motorcycle. I've never worked on a motorcycle in my life, but
you're living outside your boundaries.
Yes, and I have always wanted to own a motorcycle. I've always wanted to build a motorcycle. I've always wanted to build my own car. And so I decided to figure out a way to get a bike that needed repairs, and I could build it into a custom piece of work that was my own.
Yeah. Everybody I think should have a project like that, and I think it was a very cute way to divert from the actual point that I'm trying to make with you.
No, what I'm saying is, you're asking where all of this fire is coming from.
No, I'm not even asking that. Don't listen to that one. That was a joke question.
Okay.
My question is, whatever the hills you have that you're willing to die on, why are you willing to die for them? And do you think, logically, realistically, that you can end this specific brand or flavor of suffering? I'm not saying you shouldn't be engaged or passionate or try to create awareness to lessen suffering whenever possible. But the second you eliminate suffering is the second you eliminate existence.
Yeah.
So why not just be
Miserable.
no, there's no reason to be miserable. Like, if you're going to be miserable, like, why not just end it? Because we're all going to end it eventually.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just...
Why? Because you need somebody who's against you to feel something shitty, right? You need to sting somebody, and everybody kicks down, and down to everybody is the other side.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, this isn't like a, hey, I got you, bitch, like type conversation. It's everybody. Republicans and Democrats, moms and dads, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Everybody's against everybody. If there's a tribe to join, people will join that tribe.
Yeah.
But what if you took the third option and didn't join either tribe and just watched? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can feel sympathy for the one and disconnection or anger or whatever from the other, but you're not pulled in either way.
Yeah.
You get to watch the tug of war instead of constantly getting blisters on your fingers for a game that you will never win.
That's true.
Tell me in one, you'll never be able to, but one civilization that did not have two opposing factions.
There isn't one.
Right. So if you got rid of the other side, who would you be?
Who would I be?
Yeah. So let's say everything that you are against, right, is now disappeared. You got every wish you ever wanted, and now the world is as you think it should be. What do you do now? Party? Because there's now keep in mind, nobody
Probably
has
for
a
a
different
little bit.
Right. And obviously there would be a huge party, 10, 12 days at least. Everyone would be like, it'd be huge.
Like Zion and Matrix 2.
But then when that got old and you realized that everybody thought the same way, and even when you tried to contradict each other, you had to own up and say, yeah, you were contradicting each other because I did too. When there's nothing left to fight, what are we?
What are we? We're fucking nothing, man.
So if you have nothing to fight for, you're nothing? You live for only to fight? To be angry?
No.
Then why?
You live to experience things.
Right.
That's why.
But an experience isn't necessarily a fight, right? So why not get involved in issues?
Not every day. It's
right.
not a fight
but like
every day.
your whole every cop's a bastard thing. You obviously know logically that that's a logical fallacy. There is a 0% chance that 100% of the police, men and women, are all crooked and working against you or anyone else, right? Be logical. Say even if there's one guy or girl who's like, I'm the good one, you have to admit that, because no system has 100% pure anything.
No system has 100% pure anything, but even that one, though they stand against much of the wrong that's done, even that one still stands in support of a system that's
right
at its root evil.
So here's my question. What can you do about it? You, J-Dog, Jeff Man, the man sitting across from me, what can you personally do with your two hands and the brain in between your ears?
Educate.
What can you... Okay, so educate by how? By saying all cops are bastards? That's a shitty lesson plan, my friend.
I know.
Because what does that teach people? It teaches people to be afraid. It teaches people that that's racism. All cops, a race of people by choice, a group of people all wearing the same uniform and the same cause. Don't squint at me. You know what it's the fucking same. You're saying, hey, this specific group of people are bad because of the things they choose to believe. Now, if that isn't a religion,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're talking about the prejudice, but it's saying it's racism. I'm like,
but what is racism?
There's no such thing as blue lives.
But racism is just a separation. Yeah. Call it what you want.
I understand what you're saying.
However you want to slice the pie. So how do you reconcile that as a human being?
How do you reconcile that making such blanketing statements is...
Yeah. Because everybody knows there's
okay.
nuance. I'm not
Yeah,
saying, I'm not
obviously
conceding
there's
your
nuance.
point entirely. You'll never concede my point entirely
No.
because it's somewhere in the middle.
No, but you have to have nuance for blanket statements like that to work and actually take effect.
Right.
There has to be nuance. If there's no nuance,
But
then
if you're not the one...
fucking nothing is gonna be funny. Nothing's gonna be sad. Nothing's gonna be happy
What do you mean?
or angry.
do
If
you
there's no nuance,
Right, I'm not saying, but so when you say all cops are bastards, where's the fucking nuance, dude?
Where's
you
the
just got
nuance?
explaining to me how fucking beautiful nuance is, but you say all cops are bastards. Where's the fucking nuance, my brother? Where is that shit? I'm looking for it. I don't see it.
okay, the nuance there is.
See, it's a very
Imagine, no,
Yeah,
imagine,
unpack it
imagine
a lot,
this.
right?
Imagine this.
I will imagine as much as you want.
Okay, there's a lot that I can.
I'm buckling up. Whoa!
Okay, so imagine, if you will, or you don't even have to imagine. Like, here's the fact of the matter.
I literally have to, unless you're
I
going to be
have-
pulling out physical objects. I'm going to
Well, I
have to.
don't have any physical objects.
Yeah.
I'm related to a cop, a former.
Whoa,
police
me
officer.
too.
Me three.
My grandpa was a sheriff's deputy. Him as a person, as a man outside of his career, is a fantastic person. But as soon as he dons that badge and that uniform, he is upholding an unjust system. And therefore, his actions and his deeds are bastardly.
Yeah.
There is the nuance.
But what can so yeah, but you don't do that. You don't unpack that for people.
No.
So
unless they talk to me about it.
right, but who's going to want to talk to someone who says all cops are bastards, numbnuts? Use your nuance first and then hit them. Like, here's the thing about fighting, Jeff. You don't make it look like a fucking fight. In a knife fight, you feel the blade. You do not see it. You're coming along with a fucking hammer, and they're like, whoa, 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 and running off before you can even get close.
Hey, man,
You got to knife them with the fucking truth, and that's the nuance.
the claw side is my favorite side. I like the gore.
Right, but how many people are you winning? None. So here's the thing. So you're fighting for this just cause. I'm not going to say that what you're doing is wrong.
No,
Right in between.
I understand what
If
you're
your
talking
goal is to inspire, teach, and all that, and you're running at them with the claw end of a hammer, according to you, how many people are you going to win over?
about. All right, so
How many people turn around and say, "Hey, Jason, nice mask. You know what? Let's hit the Starbucks. Let's pull that thing up.
Hey, bro.
I'll get you a fucking frap." Hardly ever, right?
Hey, bro, here's these new pit vipers. Here's a snapback, some short shorts. Take that mask off. Let's roll.
Right.
No. Oh, I guess. How many have I won in reality? I've won only one person over.
That's way more than you should ever expect. So I'm
yeah.
sure that feels pretty good.
It did.
But how many people have you lost because of this attitude? A shit ton? So how's your... You don't even have to say a number. The fact that you're going tells me.
Yeah, dude.
So one
Okay.
for a million, let's say.
Yeah. So
How
what
does that feel? Turning all those people against your issue, your every issue.
Fart noise, dude. It just feels like a giant wet fart.
Then why put the energy
check
in
this
in
out.
the first place?
Check this out. I'll still I still post pretty aggressive stuff because
Yeah, that's why we're talking about it.
that's how that's legitimate. Like, that's who I am.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or in between. I'm just calling attention to it and trying to get to the bottom
I
of,
understand.
of the feelings.
But what I've been doing lately, like, I actually try and sit and think about what I have to say first if I'm gonna post anything. I'm far removed from politics right now because I'm so burnt out.
yeah.
Outside of like the immediate important things.
Well, and here's the thing: whether you're in it 100% balls deep or burnt out and completely with
You're
the switch
still in
off.
it.
No, you're not, because you're out of it. Like, I'm out of it. I don't give a. I care zero what's happening. Couldn't tell you a political issue that's on the table right now, and I don't care. And even if I cared 100% about everything, it would change my life 0%.
Yeah. So what I've been doing recently, and I actually picked this up when I was teaching, when I was doing my student teaching right before I graduated. I teach the fact. or I talk about the fact of the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is the evidence we have. This is the physical situation. Like, this is what we know irrefutably. And then I go from there. Like,
But you're not irrefutable to everybody. The fact that we landed on the moon is not irrefutable to everybody. Exactly. So why are you going to break your back trying to get 100% of the population won over?
No, I'm not. Like, if
Or
the
any.
conversation,
Why
if-
even try for 1%?
If the conversation, but I'm not even trying anymore. If the conversation leads to, hey, what are your thoughts on this? Hey, I have a question about
Hey,
that.
are they running out from behind bushes?
no.
Hey, Jeff,
Like-
microphone in your face. Hey, what are your
so-
thoughts on political romance?
Coronavirus is real.
Tinfoil in your hat? Yes or no?
No. So, like, this foreman that I'm working with currently, super political dude. Like, all he listens to is fucking Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, because he's on a job site.
and shit. Yeah, this dude's a soldier, like a former soldier. He is hyper conservative, like very seriously. I look at him, I'm like, golly, you drank way too much
But
of
you
that.
need
Alex
him,
Jones.
Jeff.
Yeah,
You need him to exist.
I know.
Because without him, who would you point to as and be a martyr?
I'm not even doing that. I disagree with a lot of his stances politically, but a lot of like our end goal, a lot of our like overarching views, I'm realizing like we're very much the same person.
No
It's just
shit.
we
Because
stand
when
on
you
two
drop the
different
labels,
yeah, we just stand on different sides morally. And I'm like, whatever, dude.
but what
Fucking
is
whatever.
immoral? Like, let's say you want to kill someone because they murdered someone you love.
Yeah,
or
is
you
that
want
moral?
to kill someone because they have money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Which is morally justifiable.
No, I understand. And so, like, now what I learned when I was teaching was look at the facts of the situation, discuss it, and then go, like, all right, did that change my perspective at all? Yes. Okay, well, now I need to reevaluate my morals, my beliefs.
But, like,
and
why do
figure
that
it
all
out
the
from there.
time, though? Like, once you have yourself locked in, why does every situation or any situation?
Because
Like,
every
I know-
situation that we're in is a learning experience.
Right, but I know who I am 100% in every situation. If you ask me any question, I can tell you the truth of the matter according to this bag of bones and skin and all this other garbage over here, this expression of the universe, if you will.
Why do it all the time? Or, like, why do it at all? Because you care.
Yeah, I care, but I
Yeah.
also know what I can affect and what I can't.
Yeah.
Caring is great. I care so much, it hurts me oftentimes. There are so many people I wish I could help, but I know I can't.
Same.
So why? Here's what
Why
I will
waste
do.
energy?
Why? Yeah, because all you can say is this: if you want XYZ, I am here. Here are my specialty.
Mm-hmm.
You don't call on an electrician until you need an electrician.
Oh, I know.
So you can't run up to people and say, "Hey, here's how you should live your life," until they're ready to change.
I don't.
Bullshit! All your fucking Facebook posts are like, "This is totally real," and it's like rapists should die a horrible death. Yeah, very aggressive. And if I don't, whatever the message may be, don't be like, "No, I don't do that, Dave. I don't get in people's faces about sensitive issues, dude." Fucking shit.
Okay.
Liar ass bitch. Like, this is the truth corner, man. You can't come at me with this mopey, like, "Oh, I'm totally zen and shit" story when I know you're carrying around anger inside you because you're a human being.
Yeah, I'm super angry. I'm angry all the fucking time.
Right. So
No.
why not just
Most of what I post on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, it's just like that's just my shit post spot. I'm just like, I need to get whatever thought I have out, and then I'm done.
Yeah, you realize you're not releasing it into a vacuum. You're not tying it to a balloon and letting it go over the ocean.
No.
You're giving it to an audience who then, thanks to all of this beautiful culture we've built up with the past several thousand years, get to pick you apart, and then you get to claim the victim card, be like, "Hey man, I didn't mean that." When if you had said jack shit, there would be nothing there to take offense to. Or if you just been like, with the knife instead of the hammer, that's how I get my shit in. If I want someone to learn something, I slip it in real slick, like between their ribs, and they don't even know they've gotten the truth until they've
They're
bled
like,
out.
shit, I got a stiletto in the rib.
Yeah, all
Shit, I'm
all the
bleeding.
lies have finally drained out, and all I had to do was like every day in the yard, just a little bit at a
Is
time.
that blood?
Yeah, it's like I think you just toss it over the fence, and then there's a big pile of them.
Damn.
Yeah, I do it a lot,
Shit.
but as I'm saying,
No, I like Facebook. I do that shit, but like, if I'm having a conversation with someone, I just have
right.
a
So
conversation with
why, if you're a virtuous person, why be like, here's where I'm a dick, here's where I'm an asshole, right? If you say, hey man, I want to lead a virtuous life, except the places where I expressly want to be a dick and I will not take accountability for.
them. No, I'll take accountability for it.
Okay, cool. Then quit disregarding it when you're like, hey man, I'm totally cool and I won't do that. But I totally fucking do that with
I
all the
do.
venom in my heart.
I do.
So don't tell
But
me
I'm
you
also
don't.
totally.
Don't tell me you don't. You get to be one or the other. You get to be the asshole, or you can be the dude who's like, hey man, everybody's chill. I love music, brother.
I do.
What are you for or against? I like music, brother. No, you're against a lot of angry shit, and you're for a lot of angry shit.
Yeah.
So don't tell me like, oh, dude, man. Like, you ever watch The Big Lebowski? Yeah, we all want to be philosophers, but you got to put your money where your mouth is 100% of the time.
Well, yeah.
Social media
obviously.
is a real life thing.
I know.
So
You
there
run
you go.
your mouth on social media. You better be ready to fucking defend yourself.
Right. So why not?
Here I am defending myself.
Right. So I'm glad that you're.
What
That's the thing. I'm glad that you're taking this in stride because this is all just an act.
No,
Like-
I get it, man.
Yeah. Like who cares?
Yeah, I know you're not. I know you're not like roasting me because you're like this fucking guy.
No.
Like,
like,
no, we're homies.
Yeah, we're homies, and like
That's how
I
we do it.
wish more people would do that. I wish that we would all be so fucking honest with each other that we would be like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Don't shake your head no at me while telling me yes.
I don't know.
I respect you enough, Jeff, to tell you who you are when you lie to me, and I would expect the same out of you.
Okay. Yes. Yes, I am a dick. I'm a dick on Facebook. I'm a dick on Facebook.
Right. And I'm sure you do it to serve an end, whatever that is. It doesn't seem like a productive use of energy, but you're doing it for whatever.
It's lit. Like I said, it's literally but whatever. It's
No,
Facebook.
because here's
But-
what a p is. A p is nothing.
I know, but and it tends to lead to a lot more aggressive stuff. And
You're igniting. What you're
It's-
calling a p is actually you're
yeah,
hitting
all
flint.
right, fine, fine. It's my form of microaggression towards society because I'm a slight nihilist.
Right. And I'm not against your philosophy whatsoever. Here's my only thing. I'm just advising, not even advising. Do it or don't. Maybe even don't do it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Instead of making accusations, what will draw people in are questions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you ask a provoking question, that will make the people who are against you want to answer in the way they think is against you. Instead of being like, hey, bitch, you look like a bitch. And then they got to be like, I'm not a bitch. Be like, what would you look like if you look like a bitch? And it was a question. You'd be like, well, not like me. That's the answer you'd get.
Wait
You
a
have
second.
to. It's fishing. You're not fishing with a gun. You're fishing with a nice.
Do you smell that?
It's cheese bait.
It smells like bitch in here. No,
Like a bitch.
Yeah. Like
No,
a bitch.
I get what you're saying, and I have been trying to do that a lot more.
I only say this because I've used both tactics now, and this
Yeah.
one works a lot better.
No, I know it does, and like that's one of the things that I'm noticing specifically with this foreman that I work with. Like a lot of my stories that I tell now involve guys from work, just because
That's where you
That's
are
life,
literally
yeah.
the whole time you're
Yeah.
awake. I get it.
Anytime I'm awake, that's what I'm doing, or I'm with my kids. The few minutes I have to myself, I'm like right now I'm hanging out with you, or I'm hanging out with a girl.
Right.
Yeah, I've been
And so
talking to
this is the
lately.
thing. I'm using, hopefully, this as a double dip for you
Yeah.
and asking you these hard questions because who else is going to? You're working fucking 16 hours a day and then sleeping 5 and then travel and eating, I'm sure, working there somewhere. You're not asking.
Travel and eat usually happen at the same time.
But I'm sure. Everybody's got to multitask. But you're not asking yourself these questions. You're meandering through all the pleasant thoughts and sort of wallowing in the bad ones, like we all do. You have a human brain. This is how it works.
No. You're right. Like a lot of the time, it's like, oh man, I had such a great day. Like all this cool shit happened. Or if it's a bad day, it's what happened? I'm so sad all the time now. Like a good chunk of my time is spent when I'm stuck in my own mind. Like that's what I'm thinking about. You're not wrong. I focus on the goods because it makes me feel good about myself.
Well, yeah, you focus on your achievements, but then when you focus on the bad,
then you get really sad and you tear yourself down. But I've also been asking myself a lot of those questions, like what kind of person do I really want to be?
You're already it.
Why do I care so much about what other people think? Questions like that I've been asking myself a lot lately. I've been trying to follow through with what the result, what the answer that I come to a conclusion is, which is I don't give a fuck what anyone else says,
right,
or thinks, or does.
Have you decided who you are yet?
I'm still working through that.
That's crazy. It's so funny to me that people don't know who they are. I can tell you who you are, and it'll be so simple. You'll be like, "No, Dave, no."
I want to be a good person. Like that. Break it all down. Every descriptor of what kind of person do you want to? Or
right. So how are you a good person right now? Because the only time that exists is right now. You're looking into my eyes. Right now exists. Are you a good person?
Yeah. Then
you're nailing it. Why worry? Who are you? You're a good person. It may change from situation to situation,
moment to moment.
And if you want to work on that, you can.
That's what I'm doing.
But it's why fight yourself?
I don't feel like I am, though.
No one does. But we all hold on to things we don't need. Your anger is coming from somewhere. It's something you're holding you don't need to be holding. And the details don't matter.
I'm not angry.
No, not right now, dumbass. But when because you're in the moment. When you're in the moment, you're happy because that's where you are. All you are is right now. The past does not exist. It is a bunch of dark memories.
I get what you're saying.
And the future doesn't exist.
I say dumb shit just because it's funny to me. You know that.
No, I know. That's what I don't want you to miss the point.
No,
like bringing the past forward is depression, and bringing the future backward is anxiety.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
all right. So, for instance, like
that's so funny. Everybody says, "Oh yeah, 100%," and then in a second, I'll say, "Well, what about this?" And they will turn that switch back on and be like, "Ah, I was just enlightened. What happened?"
Wait a second.
I was so switched on.
So last night. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. Let me preface this.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, so please.
I grew up.
Sure. Well, we're going that far back.
Yeah, I grew up being raised by my parents, by my grandparents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I grew up with like hearing my grandfather talk very negatively about my dad.
Yeah.
And so my perspective of my dad was always a negative perspective of like, this guy does nothing with his life. It's never his responsibility. It's always someone else's. Which, albeit is accurate,
sure,
still not a great way to be raised.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, seeing that, now being a working class citizen, if I miss a day of work, regardless of how sick I am or how important the thing that I'm missing work for is, I am constantly like, I'm just like my dad.
Yeah, so you're using the past to make yourself depressed. Congratulations, you proved my point.
Yeah, yes. So this is where I was trying to flow into what we were talking about. So yesterday I called out of work because I was exhausted. Like I'm starting to feel the effects of burning both candles, or both ends of the candle. And so I got to work. I was sitting in the parking lot and I was like, I don't feel good. I feel exhausted. I'm fucking tired. So I called, and I had just gotten vaccinated too.
Oh, so you kind of like had that under the weather feel,
right?
Yeah. So I was already like,
whatever.
I was like, maybe it's the vaccine. Like maybe I'm so tired because it's just the vaccine. So I called out, and I went home, and I laid down on my bed and I immediately passed out for like 8 hours. And I got a call from my ex. She was like, or they were like, your daughter is throwing up. She won't stop. She's been throwing up for a few hours. I need you to get some Pedialyte for me and bring it in. So I got up and I did all of that. And as we got all of that taken care of, as I was sitting with my thoughts at 2 a.m, I was sitting there and I was reflecting on the day, and I was just like, wow, this is actually a moment of growth for me, because I'm not actually beating myself up for calling out of work, because 1, I really needed it, and 2,
Right,
like,
that was me time. You're telling me your me time is at work, which is bullshit. When you're clocked into anywhere, that's not me time.
yeah. So I was. Why do we care about the past? It was a moment of clarity for me where I was just like, dude, just because you take the time for yourself doesn't make you a shitty person, and just because you do the things that are best for you doesn't make you a shitty person.
No, but we all think it does.
No, yeah.
Everybody's philosophy over here is like, if you take a mental health day, you're a nut job, or if you take time to yourself. And I used to be on that bandwagon too, obviously. I'm still, I wish there was a different term for meditation, but there is no other term for meditation. You just have to like really get into yourself.
The minutia.
No, not the minutia. The exact opposite. You need to get into nothingness. You need to lock out everything but right now. Because when is remembering the past ever going to help you? Only when you need it to, right? So why remember it anytime outside of that? To feel bad? To cause yourself suffering? Because we love to make ourselves suffer. Why? Why not stop? Oh, because then I would feel bad about not suffering. Are you fucking kidding me? Sure, live that way. But you had a moment of clarity where, hey, you were able to allow yourself to live in the moment and not drag the past up on your ass like a dirty ass blanket. Why not do that all the time?
Well, I've been working on that, man.
What? How hard is it? What? Thoughts. Boom.
It's hard just because it's not the primary
Because you want to suffer.
habit, I guess.
Because you don't want to admit that you want to keep suffering a little bit.
Well, that's everyone.
Not me.
It's like licking
I'm done with that shit.
It's like licking a canker sore, dude.
Right. And why? Because everybody loves to suffer. Everybody wants to dig up the past and be like, and do it. We justify it to ourselves. To learn. More about that. So as you go forward, you'll be a better person. Forward where? You're right here.
I see what you're saying. When I say like, I'm working on it, it's because my initial reaction is to do what I've done.
I'm busting your balls a little bit, obviously.
So yeah, I gotta work on it because I gotta build up that, not tolerance, but like
right,
that
your muscle
habit of it
memory, and which isn't even a thing. It's not muscle memory. It's a structure in your brain that you're gonna have to break apart by retraining
mental
yourself.
Habit.
Yeah, it's not even like a habit. Like it's a physical structure. Like it's like saying a tennis racket is a habit. Like your brain built a part of itself around that skill, and that skill in 10 out of 10 people is the part of the brain that loves to make itself suffer. And so it is a matter of, you can have a sudden understanding, a sudden internalization of it, but it will take a while to rewire, literally. Like if you're going to rewire a house, your brain is a physical structure. You can get that realization. You can get your awakening, your enlightening, your satori, or whatever you want, whenever. That's not the thing that has to. Everybody's like, oh, I need to suffer for it. I need to look for it. I need to travel. I need to go to Tibet. It's right here. And just because you found it doesn't mean it's ever going to go away, but you will slip because your brain is a built thing. Like, you can't scoop it out. You have to move that stuff. It's called myelin, literally, piece by piece, over to the new Zen part of your brain.
I'm just trying to get smooth brain, man.
Why would you want that?
Just no thoughts.
That's the thing. Some people, some people I do wish I could just jump behind their eyes and be like, here, boom, run them like a little robot, a little puppet, fix everything, be like, here, can't you see how this is so much better? And the sad part about it is some people actually want me to do that. Like, life is so precious. Why would you even for a second, give up control or burn it in any way you don't deem necessary, because this is the consciousness you get until you're recycled into something else.
Yeah.
So and in your fucking whatever 14th hour, and you say to yourself, yeah, this is worth it. Maybe at some point you'll be like, you know what? Is it?
Yeah.
You know, your priorities are your own, and I'm not here to give out life advice. Don't do anything I'm telling you. But everybody who looks back doesn't look back going, yeah, got that overtime, baby. 20 years ago, here's a picture of it. I got a Polaroid. That was hour 13 and a half. I was at my second job. I was helping somebody out with a roll of linoleum. You're not going to remember that shit. I mean, and if you want to get real, you're not going to remember the happy times either, because they become just like the sad times. They become just a constant flow of productivity.
Yeah.
But while you're going along the river, you're going along the river instead of against it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. You can spend your life just in a constant, which is your life is right now.
Yeah.
Or
And like I said, that's what I'm trying to do. Is just like embrace it all, live it, experience it.
It'll kick you. Everything, it'll kick you. There are some people who, you know, whatever. Everybody tells these stories about how they finally they were a whole person, and
Yeah.
Everybody, when you get your story, it'll always be unimpressive and uninteresting. That's everybody's Zen story or everybody's whatever story.
Just opened my eyes, man.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
Someone will ask you a question and you'll go, fine, woo, and it goes pop.
Yeah. It's like a light bulb just
Yeah.
flickers on. And
But
then
it's got to,
like, oh, shit.
But here's the thing. You can't actively work on bettering yourself. Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
Like, you're in the moment right now. So you're saying, I'm working on it. What are you doing? I don't see a hammer in your hand. There is no
right
wood
now,
nearby.
I'm just talking to you.
Right. So that's how you work on it. You
Yeah.
live in the moment, and in the moment you do what's genuine. You go with what life hands you, and you don't put up a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And then swish. You just fucking swish after swish after swish. I tell you what, Jeff, I got so many swishes around this house, my elbow hurts.
I have
Are
one.
you Steph Curry?
Yeah, I'm the Steph Curry of this house, and she's the Muggsy Bogues. No swish. You got one swish.
I have one swish.
She has one swish. I got
Muggsy
swish after
Bogues?
swish after swish. Listen, I don't
pretty
know shit about basketball players. I could say Dikembe Mutombo, I could say Kevin Johnson, I could say Dan Marley, and that's it. All the classic Suns I could
Okay, there
name,
you
but
go.
we're out of it.
Dan Marley.
Thunder, Dan Marley.
Majorly.
What a beautiful... Let's talk about the Suns for just a minute. What a beautiful legacy. Well, you were around for that, right?
Marley?
Yeah, Marley, KJ, Barkley, Ainge. Oh my God, it was like Suns was the dream team.
They were for a minute.
Oh, what a beautiful sight. Like, their faces were everywhere. I remember helping my cousin sell candy bars. All
With-
3 different flavors had different Suns
Yes.
characters. Humans. Different Suns basketball players on them.
Characters. Definitely characters.
Characters. Well, we're all characters in this game.
True. This
But,
game
yeah.
called life.
I loved, and I don't even like sports, but something about their camaraderie and the
chemistry
charisma
of
they
it all.
had, it was something. It was like,
Creates a sense of unity, my dude.
yeah, it was kind of like the,
Harlem Globetrotters.
no,
Yeah,
Jordan Pippen thing, but times 2.
dude.
Because it was a 4-pack of
Yep.
these like legendary figures. They were like the Mount Olympus of. It's like if you could put Shaq and it was like the dream team all put together for me anyway. Like, and it just happened accidentally.
Yep.
It was like when we had that great Cardinals team where we took the ring once or almost did and then failed. What was his name? Kurt Cobain.
Yep.
From
Kirk Douglas.
footballs. Kirk Douglas. Kurt Cobain Douglas. He shows his ass and then he married Courtney Love.
I thought it was Kurt Warner.
It
Kurt
probably
Warner.
was.
That's what it was.
I'm just
I
sitting
have
here
no
like,
idea.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
don't remember
like,
his name. That's not
do I say like do I out myself
I
as like a
say it?
sports fan?
No,
and
I was
say
there
it?
for the
Like,
Kurt Warner of it all, like the Anquan Bowden of it all, the Fitzgerald of it all. That was another like lightning in a bottle sort of thing. And I'm not even like I'm checked out about most things, but sometimes the probability gods will strike, and there will be just a beautiful team of individuals that even I, as a lowly nothing, have to stand up and take.
And just bow to.
Yeah, like just take
Not bow to.
acknowledgement, like acknowledge and be like, yes, this is skill.
Tip of the cap.
Yeah,
That's like me with the Yankees back in the day.
but you tie it to people though.
Derek Jeter.
Red Sox fan for life.
It's so crazy. Like sports in general are nuts. Because like, what do you like about that team?
The Red Sox?
Yeah. You say, Red Sox are my team. Why? The cast of characters is always revolving. Do you just
Yeah.
like Red Sox? Do you like
indeed,
Cincinnati? Is that the place?
No, Boston.
Do you like Boston?
I do like Boston. A lot.
I took a tour of the Red Sox stadium a long time ago and sat up on the green box thing. It's crazy.
I get the aesthetic, like the experience of it all, but like having a tie to a team just seems so bizarre to me. Like, don't get me wrong. If it were old school rules, like only people from Arizona could be on the Cardinals, I would get that.
That would be
I would
awesome.
probably be invested then because that would add a spice. But
yeah.
if everybody on the Arizona Cardinals is from Minnesota, Wisconsin, California, Oregon, blah,
All
blah,
over
blah,
the
Dominican
country.
Republic.
Dominican Republic, who are you rooting for?
Yeah.
Who has the most money? So you're rooting for the almighty dollar and the shape of a cardinal?
Well,
Yeah.
it's you're representing your state. Like, I mean,
By
Connecticut.
doing what? Grabbing from literally all over the globe? We're the best that Boston has to offer. Thank you, Jamaica. Thank you, Dominican Republic. Thank you, Minnesota.
No,
Thank you,
I get
Cuba.
that, but it's the fact that like it doesn't matter where the people are from. It's this in the state. So Connecticut doesn't have a baseball team, so they're divided between the Mets, the Yankees, and the Red Sox are like the three.
Right,
it's
but
really the
why
Yankees and the Red
tie
Sox.
yourself and your ego to people who hit a ball for millions of dollars?
Just because, I mean, why?
'Cause it's-
That same
it's a
goes for
hobby.
football, basketball. It goes for all those things, and it's just
I know. That's what I'm saying about sports in general. It's like, what are you? I'm asking you specifically. I'm not saying what do people. I know what people get out of it.
Why
What are you
am I
specifically?
tied to Boston?
Yeah,
And the Red
Boston.
the Red Sox. The Red
Sox.
Sox.
as opposed to the White Sox.
The Boston Red Sox are your
I
favorite
love
team.
Boston. I also love the history of
Right, but
the
what,
Boston
I'm not.
Red Sox.
So and that what's
Just
but-
like the history of the team.
so
I
okay.
just
So the history of the
like
club.
the legacy of it all. I just really like it.
I guess yeah. You can love. So maybe it's like kind of like a church. Teams are like church because they all have their
guess.
histories. They all have their rituals. They all have their vestments.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own little picadillos. They all have their like
Cult.
the sunflower seeds are like the wafers, and the
Yeah, I
Gatorade
guess.
is like the wine.
I guess.
You're
yeah.
a religious baseball nut, just like my wife.
There you go.
Praise Derek Jeter or whoever. Gonzo.
Jorge Posada
Jorge
was my
Posada.
guy.
Ortiz.
Fucking love him.
His
he's
Holiness
not
Jose Canseco rose again after injecting himself with steroids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's nuts. That's what I'm saying. Like everything is just a crazy pretense of like, hey man,
Yeah.
better join our team. And by our team, I mean money, please.
Hey man, we'll give you $17 million to swing a bat for us.
And I'm talking about you as a fan. I say, hey, aren't you a real fan? Buy this. Aren't you a real fan?
I
Come
actually
to a game.
yeah, I don't even do that. Like I literally like my tie to the Boston Red Sox is.
Do you even watch them?
I love the history of it all. Well, sometimes.
Oh, so you're just a fan of the club.
Yeah.
See, I'm not even a
Literally,
fan.
it's just a fan of the club. I'm
not a fan.
I
of
couldn't
sport.
tell you
It's
who's on
boring.
the team right now. I can't.
Me
All right,
either.
so yeah,
Do I rock a Boston Red Sox?
yeah. So you're literally
baseball
just
cap?
in
Hell
love,
yeah, I do.
in love with the ritual of it all.
Yeah, and like I said, I really like the history of the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. So you're an orthodox baseballian,
Baseball fan.
baseball Lutheran. Oh, nice. You're a baseball Lutheran.
Yes.
But you're orthodox because you like all the ritual. There's some people who like the players, and there's some people who like the experience, and they're all there for the same thing. Essentially, it's all the whole thing because you can't have one without all the rest.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just what's your favorite slice. Even your worst.
Meat lovers.
That's your favorite slice.
Right now, it changes.
Yeah, I know. You go from vegetarian to meat lover is like a flip of a switch.
We can't talk
Why
about
not just
food.
live
I'm
in
hungry.
the moment? You know what I
Dude,
mean?
I'm so hungry right now.
We've got hot dogs.
We have hot dogs.
Tell you what, let's go ahead and wrap this baby up. Jeff,
We don't
do you-
have to wrap. Like
I mean,
I'm
we've
down
gone
to keep
gone
talking.
long enough.
It's
I
already
mean,
been an hour.
It's
yeah,
been an hour already?
This is a decent.
Jesus Christ! I
For
didn't
what
realize
experiment this was, it is a decent length.
From last night when I said, so we're going to talk about with Jeff about, I don't know,
that.
boners.
Would have been cool to talk
Boners.
about boners.
Oh yeah, I told her we were going to talk about boners.
Speaking of boners, you want to hear a story?
About boners?
It's not about boners, but it does involve male genitalia.
But they don't get boned? Bonafide?
Or
No.
Fossilized?
Okay, so I was scrolling through Twitter this morning.
Sure.
I was like, doo-doo-doo, and
You were literally doing that?
yeah, I literally. So sometimes when I'm scrolling, I will legit say doo-doo-doo. Just
Walking down the sidewalk.
Do-do-do.
I was scrolling through Twitter and I forget that sometimes some of the people I follow,
We'll post dicks.
yes,
Some
Or
people post
retweet
those.
dick.
Yeah. I get the retweets of the dicks and the tits all the time.
as I'm just scrolling through
Do-do-do.
and
Dick, ah!
and I just see I see a hashtag. I see hashtag Soft Saturday,
Mm.
and it's just this dude with uncut peen just flopped out there, and I was like, oh my god, that's a dick. Which I don't care, but I like.
Right, here's the thing.
It was the
Like,
fact that it was a soft.
You are well. It was Soft Saturday, but if like you're so caught up in the play, in the pretense of life, that you think that like getting someone to see your genitals is in any way an achievement. Like there's no like. Thank you for filling that niche. It needed to be filled because who
else?
else is going to?
If not you, then who?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every part of society needs to be filled.
So
Soft Saturday, everybody.
what I did was
Well, that's today. Soft Saturday. Hashtag.
today is Soft Saturday.
Recorded Soft Saturday.
So I screenshotted it, and what I did was I went on to Snapchat where you can like edit it, and I blacked everything out except for
The peen.
the penis,
Uh-huh.
and I turned it into an alien head.
That you turned,
Art.
a sticky situation into art.
Hashtag Soft Saturday Art.
And it's all because the foreskin looked like a little alien.
Yeah,
mouth.
isn't it? That's the thing. Everybody, you had the opportunity to be personally offended at seeing another man's uncircumcised penis, but seeing it as in a detached manner, you were like, "Hey, guess what? Whoop, bam, alien."
There's
There's a penis for you.
Oh, there it is.
There it is, my dude.
My
I mean,
dude.
I don't care about the genitalia.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't care about anything.
Well,
Everything that comes across your radar should come and go as nothing more than a blip.
Yeah, but I laughed because like
Right. But only because you were checked out. If you were checked in and like got angry or offended, you would have been like, whatever the
no,
case may
because
be.
I'm following the person that tweeted it. So like,
Right.
why would
I'm
I
just
be
saying,
mad at
as
them?
a rule for like
yeah.
in general.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
For
Like
surfing the internet,
general people would
Yeah.
be like,
instead
what
of
the fuck?
being
That's a
like
dick.
flying off the handle at the side of a penis, because somebody I follow retweets a lot of stuff that I find very disheartening. I'll say that. I'm not going to get into the details. The details don't matter.
feel that.
I find them very disheartening. And I go, oh. But what can I do?
Yep.
Like, if I got
Unfollow that
offended at
person.
it, then what? Like, it's literally just something that I asked for because I was literally scrolling down through Twitter or wherever I happen to see it. All these people, that's another thing I don't like in this same vein. I know I said we were wrapping up, but I'm going to say this. People over-label things. Over-labeling things makes everybody compartmentalize. When you compartmentalize, everybody's a separate. We're all one thing. We're all one community. The universe is a closed system. No matter how complex or separate you think you are, you're not. Quit labeling your fucking selves because it's fucking annoying. You're a human. I'm a human. She's a human. They are human. We are all humans. We're all experiencing it as long as we can, as happily as we can.
A trap I am also trying to be aware of not falling into.
Yeah, just be like, I'm glad you think that.
Yep.
Pooh. But whatever. You can't change people's minds. If
Just
you want to
take the uncut dick of life,
Yeah.
and turn it into an.
If you want to grab onto a label and make yourself unhappy with it, you can. You can hold it like a blanket made out of sandpaper. I'm just begging you, please don't. When you ask yourself, who are we? We're all human. Who am I? You don't even know. If I ask you anybody who they are, unless they are who I know they are, they won't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
and one day I'll ask you, who are you? And you'll know.
Yeah.
One day
I have, like, I guess to say that I don't know who I am.
No, you do. You
Overall,
just don't
overall, I know who I am.
you're in your own way.
Yeah, overall, I know who I am, but, like,
You don't accept who you are. That's the second part.
on occasion, yeah.
You can know.
On occasion, I accept it, but on occasion, I'm like, dude, I just want to change this person.
But how?
Yeah.
Who can you run from and where can you run to? You are on planet Earth. Even if you make it into space, the universe is... Where are you going? You can't escape, bitch. Stay here. Live now, fucker.
I'm trying.
Do you want to recommend? Do you want to recommend anything to our listeners?
Have
Have you seen any good movies? Read any good books?
Okay, yes, actually.
I've got so many books I need to read.
I went and saw the Mortal Kombat movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I've heard it's getting good reviews. I
loved it. A lot of people that I follow or interact with didn't like it, but I went into it with childhood bliss because I was like, dude, this is a movie for kids.
It's a new interpretation of an old thing, number one, and it's never going to live up to or against the old one.
No, it never will.
The old one is what it is, and it'll never not be cheese and fun and whatever.
And that's what this was for me. It was like, oh man, I'm a kid again. I'm watching this movie.
And if you're going into Mortal Kombat, like I went into watching Kong versus Godzilla with zero expectations and wasn't let down. You know what I mean?
Was it good?
Oh, it was fucking perfect.
Great.
It was exactly what it needed to be. It was human. It was like, so let's say the whole movie's an arm, right? The bone is whatever they're calling the story.
Yep.
The muscle are all of the fight scenes, and the tendons are all the human characters. They're 10% of what the muscle are. Mm-hmm. The bone of the thing is holding it all together. And then at the end, you just slide out the fingertips and you go, bye, Kong 1, Mark, if you're listening. I'm going to keep that torch alive.
Dope. Yeah, I really liked Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
Other things.
No, you don't have to rack your brain.
You only
One
get
thing's
one.
good enough.
I don't know. Turnstile came out with a new song. That's a great.
Turnstile.
Yeah, Turnstile. They're like a hardcore band,
Yeah.
but their newest song is super good.
Mhm.
I forgot what it's called. Because
Well, I'm sure people by the time this comes out, who knows, or maybe people are listening to it. It's already the future. This is
Mystery.
an oldie.
It's called Mystery.
Mystery. Okay.
Super good. Check it out.
All right, guys. Thanks for showing up and listening. If you have made it this far, I haven't done this in a while. Maybe I'll do it here. The Discord, Facebook, we're on Twitter sometimes, Instagram. I don't know. I'm bad at all that stuff.
Yep.
So I think the Discord is probably the best place because it's the most.
The most active.
Yeah, not only the most active, but it's the most like immediate, On Facebook or Twitter, like there's always sort of that lag, but like you can see everybody on Discord, and it's a much livelier, warmer experience.
True.
I like Facebook because it'll give you a little check-ins throughout the day as people come in and out of work or whatever. But I think our Discord is probably my favorite way to interact, so get there if you haven't.
Yes.
Probably a link on the Facebook or the website.
Possibly.
I think I said the website earlier. Oh, if you want to email me, I mean, everybody who knows about the show knows how to get a hold of me, so whatever. What's my email anyway? Ha ha. Guys, thank you so much, Jeff. Thanks so much for coming
problem.
on and
Thanks for
having this whatever it was with me.
Thanks for the philosophy lesson.
Hey man, when you don't plan for anything can happen. That's why we talked about the Suns for a little bit.
Boners.
Didn't have to talk about boners. We'll call that the second one. We'll save that for the second one. J-Dog 2, Return of the Actual Boner episode.
Return of the boner.
See you next week. Oh, wait, no, I got to say it the right way. Until next week, I'm Dave.
I'm Krista.
I'm Jeff.
There we go. Saying something about being next week. Bye. Meow.
Or they try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.
There's no reason to say the 1, 2, 3, 4, obviously, because you're in the studio.
1,
2,
3, yeah.
4.
Yay. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Count along with me.
To unpack that, Jeff, what'll happen on the regular show is, like, since they're in Reno, I say 1, they say 2, and back and forth. So when I cut it together, I know visually how to pop them together nice and fast.
Cool.
Now I've wasted 30 seconds of your time.
The more you know.
Okay, here we go.
Today I learned.
Shh.
I
Hold on. Can we time out for just a second? I'm
Yeah.
so thirsty. Krista, can you get me like a tall glass of water or something? Or I'm going to get it. Sorry, you can't get out of the way.
I'm like, I could move.
I like it.
Keep your thought. I just need a really big drink.
Keep that thought.
Dude, I am feeling put on the spot.
So, David's recording this, so I'm just going to say it for when he edits it. I asked him the other day, I said, so what are you going to talk with Jeff about on the show? And he goes, I don't know, maybe boners? And so that was the conversation for like an hour. I was like, talking to him about boners and then just see where it takes you. He's like, yeah, boners.
I'd much prefer talking about boners right now. I'm going to be real with you. I'm a little too high to be having this conversation. But I'm
Bonerific.
I'm happy to have this conversation.
Boners. He'd rather talk about boners. You're keeping all of this conversation in. We talked about boners.
You're good. All right.
Okay,
So
that's much better.